And I'd now like to ask Mayor Donna Deegan to come forward with a few remarks. Thank you.
Oh, it's a new day in Jacksonville, isn't it? Yeah, very exciting. It's so wonderful to be with so many great downtown advocates today to announce this exciting project for Jacksonville. I just cannot tell you how excited I am about all of this. Thanks to Brian, thanks to Alex and Don for bringing all of us together here today, to my partners, Ron, Lori, and Jimmy, for your efforts to build up downtown. This is just an incredible day. Having a thriving downtown is paramount for our economy, our quality of life, and even our brand as a city. It's how we keep our young people here. I have said repeatedly that I lost my daughter to Tampa many years ago. She looks like she's about the same age as these guys. I love these young people, man. This is what I want. Let's bring all the young people to Jacksonville. I think it's fantastic. So my hope is we get her back here when she sees all the exciting things that are happening. It's a critical source of revenue to put back into our neighborhoods that have been left behind as well. And it is key to everything that we want to be as a city. This development will be one of the largest ever urban core revitalization projects, not only in Jacksonville, but across the country too. It makes us a national leader, and it is exactly the type of project that we need to kickstart our next wave of downtown development. It's also a project that will catch us up to the progress of some of our peer cities and their downtowns. In fact, the leadership of Gateway Jacks spearheaded Water Street in Tampa, the $4 billion development revitalization of Tampa's waterfront. If you have not been down there to see it, it is nothing short of miraculous what has happened down there in the last 10 years. And I cannot wait to see how this is going to transform Jacksonville in the same way. I have talked very often with former Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn and the current Tampa Mayor Jane Castor about what they did to support revitalization of their downtown and riverfront as their city's leaders. And it all comes back to what I've been talking about for the last couple of years, and it's infrastructure, infrastructure, infrastructure. I did take that scooter tour, Alex, and I said, what a wonderful tour it is, aside from the fact that I'm about to lose my teeth on the scooter because we need to fix these roads and sidewalks, and and that's one of the big priorities of my administration. While Brian, Alex, Don, and their teams are building this beautiful mixed-use development, the city is doing its part to take care of our public infrastructure downtown. First and foremost, we must ensure that our downtown is protected from rising sea levels. That's a big deal. Our budget directs $10 million for resilience infrastructure and staff positions to implement priorities coming from the vital flood, heat, and vulnerability studies that are currently underway. Got to build smart and got to make sure we protect our downtown and our neighborhoods. Stormwater drainage improvements include $7 million for the McCoys Creek outfall and millions more to bulkhead replacement along the riverfront. With Riverfront Plaza construction now underway, very excited about that too. Our budget also has a strong focus on creating a series of continuous riverfront parks and trails to bring in people from across the city to live, work, and play in a thriving downtown. On the North Bank, these transformative downtown projects include $45 million for the Liberty Street Marina, Shipyards West Park, and the North Bank Riverwalk extension from Catherine Street to Metropolitan Park. And next year, $15 million will fund the Riverwalk extension and 2 new docks on the South Bank. We're also making more than $9 million of continued investment into the Emerald Trail. Completion of the Hogan's Creek Greenway, McCoys Creek Greenway, and Hogan's Creek to Riverwalk segments will continue and will connect Springfield, East Side, Brooklyn, and the Rail Yard District and the West Side to the riverfront and downtown. So you can just see all the pieces coming together. Projects like this will add to our quality of life, and along with a focus on arts and culture, they will ignite downtown so that people will want to invest, live, and play right here in our beautiful downtown Jacksonville. These investments also mean that developers can focus on building construction instead of amenities or infrastructure, so we have to play a big role there. I am so excited about where downtown is going. We have a lot of work to do, and I know downtown is going to reach its vast potential with all of us working together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot wait to get started.
Okay, what? Is that you? That's you.
Thank you, Mayor Deegan. And next, I'd like to welcome to the stage Council President Ron Salem.
Good morning. As President of the Jacksonville Council, I'm honored to be standing here today to share this exciting news about downtown. But let me divert a little bit. We started our day in Arlington. Where is Alex? Way back there. Just wanted to recognize Alex. We opened our Winn-Dixie in College Park this morning. And just wanted to thank you for all your efforts, not just in downtown, but all over this city. That's a big thing for Arlington, and we're very grateful for that. And we also dedicated the obelisk in front of JU this morning and that roundabout. So a lot going on today in the city, but I'm pleased to be here this morning for this. We have recently seen a great deal of progress in our efforts to revitalize our great city and its downtown, and we are proud to be working with Gateway Jacks. The 22 acres covering more than 20 city blocks call for a $500 million mixed-use build-out in its first phase. This is an incredible opportunity for our community to seize. By creating a thriving, walkable neighborhood in the heart of downtown Jacksonville, we are not just improving the look and feel of our city, we will be able to attract residents and workers from all over the region who will be able to find everything they need right here in downtown. I'm confident this project will have a major impact on the future of downtown Jacksonville as we begin a large-scale multi-year development projects from one side of downtown to the other. Let's celebrate this exciting news, and I look forward for what's to come. Thank you very much.
I'd now like to welcome to the stage the DIA CEO, Lori Boyer.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to join you this morning. It's very exciting. As head of the Downtown Investment Authority, we spend every day thinking about how we can further downtown redevelopment, add to its vibrancy, complete infrastructure projects, and encourage developments like the one you're hearing about today. But I would be remiss if I don't kind of go back a little bit. I see Andre Wallace standing in the back. Andre preceded me in this role at DIA, and he's really the pioneer who got the ball rolling. Back in that day, we were striving to get 150 units, 300 units under construction from a residential standpoint. Today, I'm happy to say right now, we have over 1,000 units under construction, and the project you see here, Pearl Street, as indicated, would add over 1,000 more starting next year. And so that's the kind of momentum we're seeing. So thanks to Andre for getting that started. Alex, I shared with you many of those chamber trips starting in 2012, and we sat through countless meetings as DIA was developing its initial plan for downtown. There couldn't be a better cheerleader for downtown redevelopment than Alex, and I am so grateful to have him because that is critical to implementation of our mission. What you see here, the creation of Gateway and the investments they are making in downtown, are absolutely essential to us achieving that goal of a vibrant downtown. from all the investors who are participating in the fund, whether it's DLP, JWB, or other individuals here, I'm very grateful for your participation, for your buy-in on the vision, but even more importantly, I want to give you an assurance that we are going to work very hard to make sure that investment is well spent and that you see the return that you envision on that. It's a team effort. We've worked really well with the Gateway team and with JWD, and we see this as a really catalytic development in this part of downtown. I say that because when you have a new development that truly is a neighborhood, it's not just a single development, but is envisioning all of the attributes of building a community, it will spur further investment and further development on adjacent parcels, and there's plenty of opportunity in this vicinity. So, very exciting project. We're very excited to have you and see this kick off today, and look forward to working together to see it all constructed and implemented. Thank you.
All right, and last but certainly not least, good friend and council member Jimmy Peluso.
Good morning, everybody. I think we finally did it. I think we finally found the project that's actually going to move downtown into the place where we all know it should be. This is, as Gloria just said, this is catalytic development. I mean, look at that picture. You've got ground retail, you've got apartments, you've got housing, you've got safe streets, and before I see it in the comments section, yes, there's parking. This is the kind of project that makes Jacksonville one of the best cities in America. I can already tell you that today, just by knowing some of the work that I've seen Brian and his team do down in Tampa. I know that when I moved back in 2015, after serving several years in the military, and I lived in different cities, and I saw what Philadelphia, San Diego, Norfolk, Virginia, Washington, D.C. were doing. And I kept thinking to myself, Jacksonville has, what's the P word we all know? Potential. And now we're finally seeing it realized. If we want young professionals to move into our city, families to move back into our downtown, this is the kind of project that we need. This will bring us so much closer to where we must be, should be, and frankly deserve to be. And I want to thank Mayor Deegan for making sure that this is one of the first things that she does in her administration. I know this next 4 years is going to be one of the best times in Jacksonville's history. So thank you, Mayor. I also want to say, when I first met Brian and we talked about this, I thought probably the way some of you think. Hey, I've seen a lot of renderings, man. This is a city of renderings. And then I realized the work that you've done in the past, and I saw the team you brought together. And if anyone reads the Jack's Daily Record, hopefully you saw what the DDRB board members said about this project. Not a single person had any major complaints. This is exactly what we need. Everyone said this is a project that's really going to move forward. And I think the excitement in this room and the excitement in our city is so real. And again, I'm so excited for the next 4 years for our city. I'm excited to see this first phase go through and to support it as a city council member. This is going to make Jacksonville one of the best destinations in the state of Florida, as well as in the United States. Thank you all so much, and I'm excited for this, Brian. Let's do it.
All right, thank you. Thanks to our speakers for being here and for those great words. Okay, next we have 10 to 15 minutes for some Q&A. Anyone's welcome to ask the question. And then after that, we're going to have tours. We've got a couple. If you have a lanyard, please, and anyone in the press, please come up to the stage when we're done with Q&A. We have a tour around Pearl Street with some interactive iPads, not quite augmented reality, but pretty close, and they're really cool. It's going to show what it looks like today and then in the future. So And then we also have a self-guided tour. And I think if you want to do the self-guided tour, Eric, you can meet at the place where you checked in, and that'll have a map and it'll tell you where to go. But you can't miss them. There are little tents every place you need to stop, and signs everywhere. So with that, I think, do you two want to join me up here? Don and Alex? And just we've got a little bit of time for Q&A if anyone has questions. Making it easy on us. Okay, all right. We got one question.
I'd like to ask Don Winter a question. You have developments all over the country. What were the factors that got you excited about making such a major commitment in downtown Jacksonville, please?
Thank you, Eric. So to start with, this is where I live. So I'll say that for a second. The excitement of the man to my right, as mentioned, but it's such an incredible opportunity. You don't get an opportunity to come to a top 10 job market, top 5 job market in America and redevelop the downtown, be a part of revitalizing it. It's so poised for it, as many have said today. It was an obvious place for us to deploy our resources, our time, our effort, our energy, and certainly our capital. So thank you, Eric.
So the question was about parking. What we plan to do, so if you look at the plan to your right, N5 is the existing lighthouse parking garage, and that contains about 800 parking spaces today. And if you go by there, if you've been there lately, you'll notice that it's not very full. There's a lot of empty spaces. So our goal is to utilize that. It's existing infrastructure that we can utilize to help build projects without overbuilding parking downtown. That's not to say that we're not going to have ample parking. We're going to have at least one space per unit and parking for retail and other uses, including if you're driving in to visit the retail, if you wanted to grab a bite to eat at one of the multiple terrific restaurants that we'll have, you'll be able to park there. So there's going to be ample parking. It just allows us not to have to build parking in every building to meet demand in every building.
Jim Pickett with News for Jax. City incentives, what are you going to be asking for? What can taxpayers expect? We hear, you're this first part, $500 million that you're spending on the Pearl Street District. Overall, what are you going to ask the city for?
So we're working with the DIA currently right now on an incentive program, and they're all within the existing DIA framework. And so there are a couple of components. One is what's called a REV grant, which is essentially an abatement on property taxes. A lot of groups have entered into that program before, and I think the key point to know about that is it's all new revenue for the city. Any type of abatement would be based on new revenue that the project would create for the city. So taxpayers actually don't have to come out of pocket for that. There is a second element that would be a grant upon completion of the project and successful leasing of the retail. Again, the taxpayers have very little risk in that. That proposed about $40 million would not be paid unless we fully complete the project and we've successfully delivered the retail, which then generates all of that tax increment that I mentioned earlier. We're talking about a couple $100 million a year when it's built out. So I think it's very fair. The DIA has been working with us to make sure that this fits within the programs that they have. We're not asking for anything that would have to be outside of the DIA programs.
A lot of excitement over a grocery store coming. Is it Publix?
I can't comment on the grocery store, but I can tell you that we've got a tremendous amount of interest, and ranging in size from full-service grocers all the way down to more specialty grocers. And I can tell you, and I think everybody that spends time in downtown will agree, we can use more than one grocer downtown.
And have you talked to Shad Khan? Have you worked with him? All the development there, will this all tie in?
I gotta tell you, we're very excited to see what's happening down there. And I've truly believed this my entire career. In every city in which I've worked, rising tides lift all boats. And I think for us to be a truly, world-class downtown, we have to have all elements of that, and that's entertainment uses, that's housing at all price points. It's good neighborhoods, good energy, vibrancy. So yeah, we're in full support of the development that's proposed around the stadium. Any other questions? We've talked to their team, yeah.
Can you speak a little bit to your plans with respect to below market rental rates or housing, affordable housing, workforce housing as part of the plan?
Yep. So the question was, if we've considered workforce housing, and the answer is yes. We've got 22 acres of property across 20 city blocks, and we certainly anticipate having workforce and affordable housing as part of that. There's been, we talked a lot about the investors and developers, corporations that have come before us. A lot of them have built affordable housing downtown, and they've been very successful, and we'd look to supplement that in the future. It's pretty early on in the conversations that we've had. We will have price points that will hit workforce housing. There's no question about it. And like I said, we do anticipate building affordable housing as part of our larger project. Well, thank you everyone for your time. We're very, very excited to move this project forward. Again, if you want to go on a walking tour, self-guided walking tour, head to the front and get a map. Otherwise, if you have a lanyard or if you're part of the press, please come up and meet us up here. Thank you.